Hi guys, my name is mcfcfantv. City 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. And we've got Kurt with us. You alright, buddy?
1-1 at home with West Brom, eh?
Chris is going to come and join us in a minute. He's just trying to sort out his internet. 1 minute, I'm just join when you can, and I can get him on. Yeah, he's just going to reset his internet, and then he'll be with us. Right, so let me get into some of those, and then we'll get cracking. Ryan Corra, I believe the band Madness said it best, embarrassment. Nat Baker at this point, I'm praying for Pep to drop Rodri. Levi Greenwood, hi. Ryan Corry, one defensive mid isn't the problem. We can't be having near enough chances every game and only score one goal, and none needs set up a team that defensive against West Brom. If this Pep is trying to prove something with crapball in football, I'd much rather he didn't. At least I no longer have a team. Ryan's in all right. What's it this evening? Dupe Jesus is not it. Sterling missed a sitter by their keeper because he was class. Can't just buy everyone, because the class. Time for Pep to go. For Simon. Also, what did Mendy have on his head? What's that got to do with anything?
I like the haircut personally.
I don't know what an haircut's got to do with that. That's a stretch like a buddy. Guys, can we stop worrying about his hair? That was Pep's fault 100%. Hard to get likes when your team's plays, yeah. Pep's lost the plot. When he was screaming at the full official before any time, I was just thinking of Harry Potter when Dudley says Daddy's mad gum. Ryan's proper on one.
He is, mate. He is.
Festive. Scotty Mall, thank you, mate. I'm doing nothing. He's in a right miserable mood. I'm telling you. The plug giving Pepsi is the worst decision ever. Oh, come on. We're going a bit.
We said that 3 months ago, 4 months ago.
Not getting on Pep's back, but 2 CDMs again against West Brom with no disrespect to them. Yeah. Yeah. you can imagine where this is all going. People are saying bringing Poch.
Oh, I don't know.
Disappointing, sick of it. Really poor performance from City. Do you think we'll still win the league? Yes and no. We'll get into that, John. Hamza, I'm very happy to lose Man City the game because Guardiola. What?
Oh, gosh.
You could never, ever be happy City don't win, mate. You're not a City fan then, are you? Absolute, you know what? Absolute pathetic. 26, yeah. It's just a story of the season. What can I say?
I think that's more of it. What can I say?
Pepper's lost the plot. Seriously. I thought Rodri was our best player. Rodri isn't the problem. I'm out in one of those days. I'm getting used to one of these days. Still believe in Pep and his team. We need to get a left back ASAP. Right. Anyway, I could go through it. Is it Mahrez's mistake? No, he wasn't playing. Stop trying to be a clever git. He's great in his own, but him and Gundo together is awful. 2 holding midfields against. Do you have to be kidding me? What has happened to KDB this season? KDB only came alive in the last 5 minutes, but we'll get into that as we're going along. Rodri needs to leave. Rodri's getting the absolute steam of this, isn't it? I want Mahrez to play with another team, appreciate his skills. Well, are you a Mahrez fan or a Man City fan? So does that mean when Mahrez leaves, you're going to stop supporting City?
There's a lot of people these days that are more fans of players than clubs a lot of the time. But I think people are getting on Rodri's back a lot. It's because Gundo had such a good game. They can't criticize him today. So he's the usual suspect to getting the blame. So I'm sure we'll get into it.
Right. Okay. Pardo Oaks, we're experiencing life after. Right. Anyway, your initial thoughts, mate. Go.
I'm probably going to upset a lot of people in the comments because it's probably a different perspective then. But I think if we play that game 10 times again, we play the same way, we win that game 2-0, 9 out of 10 times. That's my personal view. I think their goal was unlucky from us. I think Diaz with a absolutely shocking attempt at a clearance. Foden's terrible attempt he didn't even do anything in trying to help the defensive unit. And then it's a deflected goal. That wasn't going to go in. That was an off-target shot that was deflected into our goal.
Yeah. Sorry, can I just say, Cancelo. Are you off your rocker? He was garbage today, Ryan. Garbage. Sorry, go on, mate.
No, I was just saying that I think, like I say, if we play the game 10 times again, I think we win that game most of the time. We should have won that game 2-0. That's what the action for the goal, for their goal on our part, was Diaz should have had a clearer header. Foden should have put a tackle in, got a block, get behind, help the defensive block, and it was a shot off target that was deflected in. So it's really disappointing that we just can't seem to put the ball in the back of the net. I think that's where most of the frustration from a lot of the fans is going to come to tonight, and it's baffling. Because the thing is, even when we were winning 6-7-0, we were missing a lot of chances back then. We all used to say it, so.
Get me on. Right. I'll get you on one condition. You do not be really, really negative. Say your piece, but don't be dead negative. When you tell me okay, I'll send you the link. Right, okay. I'm going to be straight with you. I'm going to be honest. And I know Andy's probably watching and he's going to be like, don't be negative. And I'm not trying to be negative. I'm trying to be realist now. I understand the 12 games in. But all I heard an excuse on Saturday when I watched the worst performance of the season, negative-wise. Result wasn't as bad. It was the performance I was upset. And Carl and Andy told me, don't worry. Tottenham will drop points. Liverpool will drop points. Chelsea will drop points. And I thought, great, all right. They've got a point. Yes, exactly what they did, what they said happened. But if you go back and watch my reaction in the derby, I said, it isn't that my issue is. My issue is I don't trust us right now to capitalise on it. Now, I didn't think, and Andy's just put 12 games in. I know what you're saying, but at what point do things need to start changing before you go, enough's enough? You can only go 12 games in, and then we go 13 games in, 14 games in. Something is not right. We don't know what it is because we're not within the club. That team is not performing right now for some reason. We don't know what it is, but they're not performing. The only time I saw urgency in that game was the last five. The last five, when we had to go for it, when we realised, crap, we're in an issue now at 1-1 with 5 minutes. Well, then we started playing with urgency.
That's where a lot of frustration comes from, because that should have been happening at the beginning of the second half. You know what I mean? When we're 1-1.
Messing around. People say, we played nice football in our own half. We're moving the ball backwards and forwards in our own half.
My problem was we created the chances to win the game. We just didn't take them. When people are thinking about, that's not Pep's fault. The only thing on Pep I would say today, I even thought his substitutions came a lot earlier than they normally do, and it was 2 at the same time. So that's always a double substitution. I'm still baffled as to what Sterling has to do to be dropped. He has no business starting a game of football. I don't care that he got the assist. It doesn't mean nothing to me.
Andy,
listen, I have no
right wing as well.
It doesn't matter. It's not. He's in terrible form. Terrible form. He should be dropped, not for 1 game, not for 2 games, for 3 games to prove a point. Pretty much everybody else has been dropped for 2 or 3 games, big boys. Apart from Kevin De Bruyne and him. They're the only 2 that have never had it.
Spot on.
And he needs one. As simple as that, he needs one.
But he didn't get dropped last season when he went through.
He never gets dropped. And I know why that is. It's because he's an incredibly well-trained athlete, and he has, Pep said it multiple times, he has the ability to play every 3 days. And for a manager, that's a player's dream, a quality player who can play every 3 days and not have issues with recovery. But it's not about recovery. He should be dropped because he's not good enough to be in the starting 11.
Yeah. No, I understand.
That's my point of view.
Listen, I get Andy's.
That was the only gripe I had with Pep today, though. That was the only gripe.
Andy's point of view, it's 12 games. I understand that. My issue is, though, it doesn't matter whether it's 12, 15, or 20, or 2 games in. We're not capitalising on what anybody's doing. Exactly. That's my worry at the minute. we're struggling against teams.
Especially as we were the ones who played first this week, because we were Tuesdays and the rest of the games have gone Wednesdays, so we'd be able to actually influence our points before the other games have played.
Yeah. Sorry,
we haven't had a lot to do this season.
Chris is asking me for a 6-digit code. Chris is asking me for a 6-digit code. Andy, if you can just help Chris get online for us, mate, while you're on. Let me go through this. Disappointed but expected, so I'm not gloomy here. I don't blame Pep Guardiola at all today.
No.
In part. I don't, because like Andy said in the thing, I can't blame Pep for Sterling missing from 2 yards out point blank. I can't do that. We had chances.
We had 3 clean cuts.
Yeah.
We should have won the game 2-0.
Where my worry is 26 chances, I think it was 4 or 5 on target. That's not good enough.
That's been the way for quite a while for us.
Exactly. And apparently they had a meeting. They had a meeting during the week to discuss this, Pep said. They sat down and they had a meeting and they said they were going to try and sort this out.
Just got to work to keep him more. It's basic.
I'm going to bring Alan in a minute. He's going to join us. But I warned him to try and not be too negative because I don't want to go down the negative road on it. My point is here is we cried for forwarding. We cried for dropping Mahrez. We've cried to drop new people. We've said Aki should get a game. We can't keep it. I don't think it's as simple anymore. From what I watched today, and they include myself disagreeing on this now, it proved a point to me. Rotation is not going to be the key to this because there's something a little bit deeper than rotation now. Because Phil Foden came in today, and I did not see the Phil Foden that's come on for 20-minute cameos in other games and changed them. He looked, I'm going to be honest with you, she struggled today, Phil Foden. Ake didn't have his greatest game today. So I'm looking at it thinking, you know what? He's changed the team, but it's the same old, same old. Nothing's changing. It's different personnel, but the same problems.
Most certainly is.
So I don't think it's as simple. Maybe I'm trying to be too FIFA, too football manager of let's keep swapping players and hope something goes wrong.
I think a point to make on it is squads that have teams that have similar levels of squads that have the ability to rotate and have players as fit as we do is probably Chelsea and Tottenham are the 2 other squads you could really compare us to right now, as Man United have no depth and Liverpool have injuries. So if you look at what those 2 managers are doing, they're changing probably about as much as Pep is, and to very similar middling results. You know, Chelsea haven't beaten anyone of note, and they lost again today. You know, I think Spurs is December is where we're really going to see where Spurs are at, because I have a theory that they're not going to pick up many points at all this December. But I think rotations it's just a weird season. It's a weird season in total because it's difficult because he says it's every next game, but he's clearly not. But he's clearly planning for the second half of the season more so than the first half of the season, from my perspective. And I think it's difficult what we can do to change, other than bringing someone in January that's going to revitalize the mood in the camp, lift a few heads, you know, make people feel a bit better. You know, new signings always does that for a squad. So I don't know if that's going to be the answer. But we can't always just go down the route of just signing new players.
No, I know, but I said in the summer, I know in agreement, I said we needed a revamp. And everyone went,
to be fair, I was one of the people who was on the opposite side of you with that, Martin. But I tend to agree with you now. I think we should have got a striker. I thought we'd be fine, but I was wrong.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to like this. Jesus in a striker. As long as I've got a hole in my rear end, he's not a striker. Sorry, no. Alan, can you sit up a bit? It's like you're a floating head.
Pardon?
Sit up a bit, or do you look like a floating head, mate?
Is that better?
Yeah, go on.
All right. I'll try and not be negative, but
no, I don't mean be negative, but don't go on your you're still a floating head. Move your camera down a touch.
Is that better?
Flicked it down and it flicked back up.
All right. I don't think it's rotation. I think it's the system we're playing. I think the system we're playing this year is different from what we've played in the previous 5 years.
Oh yeah. Andy said that.
And I can understand playing the two CDMs against the Liverpools, the top 6 teams and the best sides in Europe. Okay, I can understand them doing that. All right, but when you're playing West Brom at home, who are second from bottom, who have been struggling all season, why on earth are we playing 2 CDMs?
I didn't think we were playing 2 DDMs.
We were.
I felt Rodri was playing on the left 8 personally today.
In the last 10 minutes, Gundogan, last 15 minutes, Gundogan was moved forward from the CDM position. Okay?
Yeah,
he was moved forward, and we looked a lot better. I wouldn't say we were perfect, but we looked more threatening because he was picking the ball up in threatening areas and causing problems for them. All right, winning free kicks, getting crosses in, and suddenly we created 3 chances in the last 5 or 6 minutes of the game that really we should have scored from. Okay?
Yeah, that's what I said before.
Sterling and Gundogan's header were, in my opinion, they should have scored. They were 2 sitters. All right, and then, but before that, first half because we were playing these 2 CDMs, they were getting the ball 60 yards from goal and passing it square all the time. And when Martin texts me saying it's laboured, the tempo's not right, that creates a tempo. Those 2 players create tempos, and if they're passing it slowly, the whole team will pass it slowly. And I was sat there with my father watching it, and my dad said, "It's too slow. We're too slow." And why have we got 2 midfield players sat in our own half against a team with 6 at the back and 4 in front of them? And they were sat in our own half for 70 minutes.
Yeah, I was very disappointed with the width of our fullbacks tonight. We were so narrow.
I think it was the commentator on television saying over here, they've got Foden on the left-hand side and they've got Sterling on the right. But the people that were standing on the width was the fullbacks, and they were playing inside right and inside left.
Yeah,
walking into traffic. And with all due respect, Foden's not. He's a number 10. He's a central midfield player. So,
he was coming into that inside left role.
Yeah, it's not that position. And to me, you might as well play Torres if you're going to do that.
Well, I would have had Torres playing instead of Sterling, personally, for me. But
Foden's either a central midfield player or sat on the bench.
Yeah, I would have had him on the bench tonight. People wouldn't like. I would have had Torres and Morris starting if it would have been me choosing the team.
It's the system, and only when he changed it, with 15 minutes, when it was panic stations, that we could draw here against West Brom. Did we look like we could create opportunities?
It's extremely frustrating.
I'll just say one thing. We had 3 shots on target up until the 77th minute.
Right. Okay, but I'm going to bring you what Anthony says here, and I've left it up to this good point, mate. Martin, could the problem be beyond the service? Could it be after 5 years the squad is mentally and physically shattered? The reason why I lift this up, I've heard this from Bayern Munich, and I also heard it when he left Barcelona as well, that after so long, the squad does become mentally, physically gone. Because apparently Pep is so demanding of players, and his system is generally so demanding, and he's always expecting them so much from them, that eventually they can get burnt out. Now, I'm only saying because I have, like I said, I watched a big documentary on Bayern Munich on YouTube about Bayern Munich fans and Pep, and that was their biggest issue. And they said they get burnt out and they get bored of the tick-attacker stuff. Now, could it be the players are just, because we've tried the rotation, we've tried putting players in, and it's the same problems. Nothing is changing. So could it be they've just, I'm not going to say down tools, because I don't think they have down tools. I don't think players, I never think players down tools unless
I don't think they are.
it's a situation. Have they mentally just gone? Are they done with Pep's system?
I don't think they've mentally gone. The last 10, 15 minutes when we changed it, we did look okay, to be fair. You know, if we had played like that from the start, we'd have won, and we would have won easy. But they didn't. They played the system that all season we've been playing in every single game, and to me, it doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. But they're not playing with pace, and we're playing, you know, in front of in mass defences all the time, and don't look like getting in between them or behind them.
I think an issue comes from before. Obviously, this season's changed our approach to the way we approach games. Before, we've missed a lot of chances. We've always missed a lot of chances. Even going back to Pellegrini, we used to miss a lot of chances. So when Pep first came in, it was just create enough chances and we're going to score enough, and it doesn't matter. And I think now, Pep's putting an emphasis. You remember last season when he was talking about our strikers and our forwards not taking their chances?
Yeah.
When we create less chances and they don't take those chances are more magnified. Does anyone think that Pep might be doing this on purpose to say to these players, look, you've been missing chances for years. Now it's costing us. You know what I mean?
Well,
I think there could be an aspect of that to that.
We had 24 shots today, right? And only half a dozen on target.
We had 3 good chances. We should have scored at least 2 of them.
Yes. The 2 headers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but Sterling should have broken the net with that header.
I thought the Gunda one, I think it was a good header from him, playing it down onto the ground from that position. I think the goalie did well there. He should have scored, but it was a good save from the goalie. The Sterling one, there's no words to describe how disgustingly bad that was.
That was terrible. It was
I'd rather it. I think if it just hit him in the face, he probably would have scored. You know, instead of his head.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely no difference in the formation. If we can't take 5 or 6 good chances,
exactly. We're not taking our chances, and Pep, we're not creating as many chances. So when we don't take them,
I just thought that the service for the first 70 minutes to our front guys was non-existent. It really was non-existent.
Yeah, and
how narrow we were playing.
But top strikers don't always. Top strikers can make chances for themselves.
Well, Harry Kane the other day.
So you can't just keep relying on service. This is my issue with Jesus. Jesus, I appreciate, runs around like an absolute headless chicken and does all the donkey work. But he wasn't bought for that. He was bought to put the ball into the net, and he cannot do it. And I'm sorry, I'm going to be direct and to the point here. He is not Sergio's replacement in a month of Sundays. He's not. He's just not. He's not good enough to do it. And we need, in January, I don't care what, all this crap of we need to buy Noah. In January, stop dicking around and just slap a bid down for someone. Stop this messing around now.
I wanted Cavani, but he went up to the other side, you know.
I just, you know, then get fresh players in. I've said we needed, I'm now starting to think we could do with a mid.
Well, I personally, I thought about it after the day. I've calmed down now, and I think we need 2 players. I think we need a David Silva replacement in midfield, a playmaker. I'm convinced of it as the number 1 priority. The second priority is to get a striker, and if we can't sign a striker, i.e., we get a loanee, because getting a striker at this time of year is virtually impossible, I think, to sign, but not a decent one. So we don't get a loanee till the end of the season.
Can I just say something? Because I know people are trying to. We're trying to get Chris sort of signed in here. I think I've got him signed in. Right. I know what people are saying about this progressive CDMs and boring football and everything else. And I'm going to sound like a real old school fan here and sound really thing. to me, this is why I'm thinking it's mental. What has changed? Because last year we scored over 100 goals. Every time under Pep, we have scored over 100 goals. And something has changed, whether it's the situation with COVID's affecting them, whether it's the situation with something has changed mentally with these lads that they cannot finish. And the problem is, not one of us knows what it is. We don't know what it is, because this is what I'm saying about this switch of players. I was the one put Foden in, put this guy in, put that guy in. They go in, do nothing.
Mate, when Foden's come in, he's not produced, mate. He hasn't produced.
No, not at all.
I don't understand. We know he's got talent. We know he's got talent, and I want him to progress, and I want him to be our star player. We all want that. Every single one of us want that. But every time he's played, one, he's not playing in the right position for me, and two, in that position, he can't deliver what he wants. He can't. I know what you're saying. I know you're laughing at, but he can't. He hasn't delivered in that left-hand side and all the right-hand side. He comes on.
Come on, lads, it's Christmas.
Hello, lads. So, but he doesn't. He's not producing. So at the moment, he doesn't deserve to be in the team unless Pep has the balls to play him in that number 10 position, which is where David Silva was. If he does that and he produces, he's done. That's it for me. I'm happy. But he won't play him there. If he won't play him there, he won't sign somebody else.
This is the thing I've been saying for a little while, Alan. I don't. If this is the formation and the setup we're going to persist with for the time being, I don't understand why Kevin De Bruyne is not put. Why is Kevin De Bruyne not put next to either Fernandinho, Rodri, or Gundogan? Kevin De Bruyne plays a little bit deeper, and then you have Foden playing where Kevin De Bruyne is now, and then we're still able to have our wingers. We're still able to have the defensive block that we need to, because Kevin's an amazing tackler, works hard. He can drive with the ball. He can create from deep. He can move the ball forward. He can progress the ball quickly, especially when he's got someone next to him like Rodri or things. So he knows if he goes 10 yards to the right that someone's going to cover the space. I don't know why that hasn't been tried.
To me, it's the system. That's the problem. Not wrong.
Yeah, but I'm saying if we are persistent with this system, why hasn't he tried that is what I don't understand.
Let me just bring Chris in.
He's got his coat on.
Are you playing,
Top bloke.
Hey, mate.
What's up, you?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Is he eating up in your house or something?
No, apparently it's trendy to wear coats indoors now.
All right, okay. I like that, yeah.
Will you take your coat off?
He's good at making
You take yours off first.
Hey, it's Adidas. Again, Adidas.
Oh, he's frozen. Oh,
Right. Anyway, let's get back on some normality. Chris.
Yeah, mate.
When you finish being a prat.
He is coming from Winnipeg.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, mate, there's something not right, is it? Whether it's confidence or whatever it is, mate, something is not right. It's poor. It's
not been right for a while, has it?
No, it's slow. It's a bit like we're trying to sort of do things really deliberately, rather than making any risks or anything like that. It's just ponderous. It's pretty poor.
Feels like percentage football.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Yeah, it seems to go against sort of Pep's ethos, doesn't it?
Well, it's the way I analyze the game. I always think about it like today. We should have won the game 2-0. In all honesty, we should have won the game 2-0, and Pep's probably that's probably what Pep's gonna say. You know?
Yeah. Well, yeah. We had our chances.
It's frustrating, mate.
Yeah, and West Brom, defended well, and their keeper had a good game. But like the header at the end from Sterling, you'd expect 9 out of 10 to go in.
He's headed straight at the keeper.
Andy Blue Moon says, guys, do you agree? Had no pre-season, big teams all struggling around Europe, the Champions League. As Dortmund lost Liverpool. Dortmund lost, Liverpool drew, Chelsea lost again tonight.
Blue Moon, I got thing about that. The Europa League teams are all doing exceptionally well in their leagues because they started earlier and they basically got pre-season with the Europa League, and all us other teams didn't. Every top league's being led by a team that started in the Europa, whose games start a lot earlier than everybody else's, and all the teams that were late in the Champions League are doing naff.
True. Is that your phone?
Yeah, it's just some text.
Can you not put it on silent before you come on?
Yeah, I've just put it on silent and said to the Mickey out. You know what?
When City went down on Mancini, City were quick to get shut of him. He didn't spend the millions. Pep has. What's the difference? Remember, Pep was brought into him in the Champions League. Mancini wasn't shown the door because of results.
It's because of the dressing room.
You know that.
I think there is a difference in Pep signings and Mancini signings, though, Martin. I think.
Well, go on then, because you've heard that before. Go on then.
I just feel that Mancini signings were all sort of leader kind of players, which at the end brought his downfall because he fell out with them. But Pep signings, all the signings the club are making at the minute, they just seem to be nice people. There doesn't seem to be any kind of anything nasty about them. And I think you need a bit of that in football.
Yeah, you do.
Well, do you remember? I mean, going off this, I've said this before. Have you all watched that Amazon Prime with Tottenham? What are you laughing at?
I'm just laughing at the comments, mate. Sorry, I shouldn't be so distracted.
No, he's just put it in the comments of me.
Yeah.
And if you watch Mourinho, the first thing he says, he goes, I've said this before, he goes in and goes, you need to be more bastards. You need to go in and be pricks, basically, on a football pitch.
Yeah, that's right.
We seem to be too nice. There's only Fernandinho who goes in and seems to be a bit of a git on the football pitch. Everyone else is a bit.
I think Diaz will be. Diaz does strike me as the sort of guy who doesn't mind.
Diaz is like that as well.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He used the C word as we know he did in that documentary, and he's 100% correct. Tottenham were too nice. They're not anymore.
Exactly.
They're not anymore. You know,
Cheeky's now crap. Who did he sign for City?
I just think that when Mancini was signing players, yes, they were leaders. They all had egos, which they did, but they were all winners, and they were all proven winners. Right now, we're signing potential rather than they're there right now. Like Torres, potentially is good, but he's not the finished article.
I don't.
That's just the difference in transfer policy.
I don't think Cheeky was at the club when I was doing that job when Mancini came in.
He was there, he was the last year he was there.
It was 2013, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the year after.
No, not in 2010. It was
exactly.
That one,
and David Silva and Aguero. That wasn't Cheeky.
He didn't come until 2013. That's what I thought.
So Andy did that argument out the door, mate.
Mancini's signing was done by Brian Marwood. Because you remember, Mancini argued with Brian about the Arsenal player went to United forward.
Mr. Van Persie.
And they got cheeky. They got cheeky in 2013, and Soriano, they came in and they booted him at the end of the season.
Do you want to know my biggest thing today? That's the only thing, Andy. That's that argument's void now, mate, because he wasn't at the club doing that. Carl and other people have banged on about what you like about inverted wingers. Don't play inverted wingers and we win. He didn't play inverted wingers tonight, and we had the same problems as ever.
Well, where did Sterling play then?
Right wing.
We did. The fullbacks were going out wide.
Hang on a minute. Where did Sterling play tonight?
Inside right and inside left when he was stopping over.
Was he on the right majority of the game?
Yes.
Well, right. This is a bit of a semantics argument, though.
Wingers, you can't say on Saturday everyone goes, get Sterling on the right, get Sterling on the right.
He was starting wide and coming diagonally in. Both him and Foden was sort of coming narrow in, sort of going that number 10 left side role.
They kept saying it on the TV. It's the fullbacks that are giving the width. and it doesn't suit City when they're playing narrow, and that's what they're doing at the moment. They're playing narrow, especially when they had 6 at the back for 65 to 70 minutes today. 6 at the back.
Yeah, Phil Foden's not a winger anyway, is he?
Lazy bollocks.
What happened to getting chalk in the boots, mate? When was the last time we played got chalk in the boots?
I don't know. Hang on, what's this? I'm just trying to look at that a minute. Martin, he was Mancini's last. Yeah, not saying that, but Chris talked about when we bought Yaya and we bought Aguero and we bought David Silva.
Brian Marwood signed all of those players.
And that wasn't it?
Cheeky was not at the club. Oh, yeah, Cheeky was not at the club when Aguero first signed. That was done by Gary Cook and Marwood. Wasn't done by Cheeky. Cheeky wasn't at the club then.
Yeah.
So that's all we're saying. He was in his last season, I know that, but he wasn't there then. If teams are playing 11 men behind the ball, why does Pep still insist on 2 CDMs?
Spot on.
I'm not saying, but was Gundogan really a CDM today? Because
I didn't think he was.
In the last 15 minutes, he wasn't in the last 15 minutes. For the first 75 minutes, he was.
Chris, what do you think? Sorry, Chris, you've gone dead fuzzer in a bit.
Yeah, I think I'm having internet issues, mate. I don't know what's going on. I just think that Gundogan isn't really, you want him. I think what we were talking about the other night is that Kevin plays too far forward at the minute.
What I was saying.
I would have Kevin in Gundo's position, and I'd have Foden playing.
Oh, exactly what I said, Chris. Music to me is.
Where Perez on the left, Sterling on the right, bit of pace, That's what worked when we were flying.
Yeah, I know we all agree on one thing: whatever he's doing with the system at the moment is not working.
Exactly,
it's not working, and it's the system he's playing, not the players.
I just think De Bruyne gets
the ball.
I disagree with that, Alan. Don't think it's I think you're letting the players off big style.
Well, Cancelo today was awful. He never did anything. He kept giving it away. Rodri was average.
Just not the players. Pep did not leave 2 yards out.
Mate, when they moved, when they abandoned 2 CDMs and went 1 in the last 15 minutes, we looked a lot better. But it was too late.
Right, okay. But Pep didn't say to Phil Foden, go out tonight and play like that.
Oh, dude, Foden's awful.
Now, this is what I'm saying. Andy has got a point on this. We can't keep going. It's Pep's fault. Pep is not on the pitch. Pep is not on the pitch.
So what's the solution?
Because I've said to you, some of these players are not good enough.
Taking our chances, mate. That's the solution. Putting the ball in the back of the net.
We've sat and protected a lot of players for a long time. I said in the summer we needed a revamp. And we didn't.
I agree.
And we do. Some of these players are not good enough.
Who's not good enough? You're right. All right. Let's don't go with that for a minute, Martin. You tell me now, in the squad, which players are not good enough for Manchester City Football Club?
Right now?
Yeah.
Well, John Stones. Zinchenko's not good enough. Right now, I'll be honest with you, Bernardo's not good enough. Mahrez is not good enough. Jesus is not good enough at the moment.
Yep.
Sterling is playing crap at the moment.
Yep.
So there's 5 off the top.
So would you get rid of them and get some players in?
I've always said if someone came in, and me and Chris have agreed on this privately, if someone come in and offered over 100 million for Sterling, Chris, we have it.
Didn't agree to nothing, mate.
I'm sorry.
If someone came in for what, 100 million for who?
If someone bids over 100 million for Sterling, I'm snapping the hand off and I'm driving him to the airport.
I am
150 million.
Yeah, he did say
I'm going to be honest with you. Rodri, I was not impressed with tonight.
I agree with you on that. I think Rodri's a good player, but it's not good enough for Manchester City for winning titles for us. It's not up to it.
I think he's doesn't suit our system. He comes from Atletico Madrid, a 4-4-2, to coming into a 4-3-3. We spent like a year trying to adapt. Pep obviously doesn't trust him in this single DM, so we play 2 DMs. That's obviously why we're playing this system. So it's quite self-evident by the selection of the team that he doesn't trust Rodri on his own there.
No, I 100% agree with that comment.
I agree. Yeah, I do think that. I don't think he does trust Rodri on his own. And I think that's why he wants someone there with him.
That's why he sticks someone next to him. I don't understand why it can't be Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne is... People forget how good he is from deep. People are forgetting. He's not some number... The only time he used to play number 10 was that last season, Pellegrini, when he had like 20 goals or whatever. Ever since then, he played a lot deeper. In the 16-17 season, he was playing a lot deeper. I just don't get it why he's playing so out the pitch. He gets the ball when he's got like 7 players around him and no room to operate.
Yeah, that's because he's on his own there.
He's on his own, yeah.
He's on his own.
Yeah, but if he was deeper and he had Foden, 2 wide players and a striker up there, he's got so many options in front of him. Why not try it? What have we got to lose? If we're going to persist with this system, what? I don't get why we don't try it.
Well, I didn't say sell everyone. I didn't say sell everyone on a new manager. Don't have to be sarcastic with me, mate. Come on, I didn't say that. But I do think there's some. I think. Do you remember? I'm going to talk about them over the road. You're not going to like this. Do you remember when they went 3 years and they won Jack? They didn't win the title for 3 years. And Ferguson said, I need a rebuild. I need to do something right now. They got the time, even though their fans were still crying to get him out the door. So this isn't a new thing that teams don't win the leagues and they want players, the manager out the door. It's not new. But he got the chance to rebuild. They went on and won 3 titles.
And a Champions League at the end of it.
So maybe it is as simple as we do need to rebuild. And this little thing of, well, how much money do you want to spend? Like the old dude, you spent 400 million on the bloody defence. Shut up. It's not to do with you. I couldn't give a crap. It's not my money.
I say spend 400 million, mate.
The defence isn't too bad. I mean, Mendy, again.
Good performance.
It's just when something's not right, mate. And I think it's a lot of it down to confidence.
A lot of people are out of form.
Chris, I talked about it earlier. A lot of teams have said, Bayern, Barca, said after 3 or 4 years, they get physically, mentally burnt out on the Pep system. Is that happening before our eyes and we're not noticing it?
Yeah, possibly, mate. Possibly that is what's happening.
Could it just be attention spans of footballers? Because you think back in the day, in the 90s, managers were there for 10-year periods. Now everyone's so used to a manager changing in 3 years that they just get bored and they just zone out. Whereas before, back in the day, they might have said, this guy's going to be here for 10 years. He's going to be here longer than my career at this club. So I'm going to have to do what he says.
City didn't have a manager for 10 years in the 90s.
Yeah,
they were looking to
about 10 weeks. I'm talking about us. I'm talking about in general. Not us, mate. I don't really want to talk about our past managers because a lot of them just make me very upset.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
Wants to do Mahrez plus Jesus plus 80 million for Mbappe. Whoa, that's a bit champ manager, isn't it? Yeah. I couldn't do that deal on FIFA, mate. Never mind in real life.
That's not going to happen.
Charlie Everett's bringing us back down to earth. Southampton away on Saturday.
No, we lost last season, didn't we?
Yeah, I don't want to.
The way we're playing at the moment, I don't hold much hope.
I don't think it's a simple do this and we fix it. I don't think it's that simple. Right now, we're experiencing something, all of us as fans, that we've not experienced in 5 years under Pep. A problem.
It's called resistance.
Last year, we had slight issues. But Chris said something to me on one of the streams, I think it was Friday night. This has actually been coming. The signs were there last season.
Oh, they were, yeah, you're right.
Signs were there last season. We were making errors. We were making silly errors. And it's just might have just continued into this season. And maybe Andy's right. Maybe 12 games in, we've hit the panic button. We're still 6th. And we're moaning.
I don't think it's a panic button to hit.
Oh, I do think there is. With some, yeah, there is. There's a lot of people right now saying Pep out.
Yeah. I'm not worried about the league in that sense because everyone around us is dropping points. I know we're dropping points, but it's this season is very it's more different than last season.
Are you worried that we're going to finish? We're not going to finish in the top 6, the top
6?
I don't think we're going to even finish in the top 4.
I said to you, negative.
I'm not worried about that for a second, mate. I'm not worried about.
I am worried, mate. I am worried.
Not for a second, because the thing is, mate. Like until 19 games have been played, I don't really worry too much about the table because fixture parity doesn't even itself out. We had tougher games than other people. We drop points against other people. When February rolls around, I don't think we'll be worrying about top 4. Let's just put it that way.
No,
I hope you're right, Corey. I hope you're right.
Andy Blue Moon, do you think Pep is losing the changing in with players as in a bit stale? Hey, I will go round everyone for that one. Kurt, start with you.
No, I think our key players are just really out of form, tired, and overdone from international football, domestic football, and everything else.
Chris?
No, I don't think that they've gone stale. It might be that they're his training philosophy or whether how much he's taken over might need a bit of a revamp, you know. I think the main thing he needs to do, mate, is go back to what he knows the team's capable of doing.
Chris is having technical issues tonight, as we did say earlier on, so I do apologise. Alan?
I just think it's the system, mate. I don't think it's the players or the players going stale. I think it's the system of playing doesn't work for us.
So you've got no blame on the players whatsoever. You're putting it firmly.
I just think we're playing going forward. We're one less player playing for because we're playing too many at the back. CDMs, double CDM against West Brom is a joke.
Yeah, I understand that, but listen to what you just said. You just said it's the system. So are you blaming Pep, not the players right now?
I'm blaming the system that he's playing. And
so you're blaming Pep? Right, yeah. No, I'm nailing you down on this. Are you blaming Pep?
Yeah, I am on the system.
Right, okay. So Pep was on the pitch scoring from 2 yards out.
The system we played for 75 minutes was awful.
All right. So, all right then. The next question is: Would you replace Pep then?
No, not at the moment. He just needs to be told. Take away those 2 CDMs when you're playing against lower league team.
Wait, digs himself in a big hole and then tries to.
No. I understand if he plays that way against Liverpool, if he plays that way against Chelsea, if he plays that way against Tottenham. I fully agree with that. But when you're playing West Brom, mate, at home at the ETIHAD, and West Brom are second from bottom. Why on earth are you playing 2 CDMs? Why?
Well, Andy doesn't agree. I don't understand. I'm with that. I don't understand that. I would say it's both a little bit right now. I think Pep has got things to answer to.
Yeah.
But I think you're letting the players off a very big hook here, Alan. I'll be honest with you.
It's probably a combination of both. But the system's not helping. Do you agree that the system's not helping our players?
No, it's not. Okay, then. Do you agree some of these players are good enough still for Manchester City at the top level?
I've got my ideas on who I think should be shown the door at the end of the season.
Tell me them.
Zinchenko, definitely. He's got to be shown the door for me. I'd certainly look at Rodri, shown the door. I don't think he's good enough. Gundogan, he'll be all right as a squad player. I think that Sterling is on the border of being kicked out. I'm not too sure about Jesus. I think if you're going to play Jesus, he plays on the left and not as a striker. I think he's a better left-sided player than he is a striker. I think there's 5 players there that could be shown the door. Sterling at the moment's not doing enough for me, and I just think we lack creativity. Foden's not far off being shown the door the way he's doing as well.
No. I don't think he's far off from being shown the door. I will disagree with you on that one. Short opinion.
Might be the other way around.
What, you think Foden's going to show Pep the door?
No, I think Foden might be knocking on Pep's door and saying, "I need to play."
But he doesn't deserve to play after tonight.
Oh, I agree. But he's been playing in the wrong position.
Hold on, you just told me you should be knocking on his door, though, and saying, "I'm not playing."
To play number 10. To play number 10. Give him a chance at number 10. He's not been given another chance. He's not been given a chance all season in not one game at that number 10. But Pep said that we've got the David Silva replacement.
Welcome to the Magic Roundabout Fan TV with Alan, who will go one way and then switch to the other way. He's like, yeah, he's a little bit like Boris in that speech. Yes, but, yeah, but, no, but, yes, but, yes, but, no, but. I'm not too sure, really. So I'll go with whatever anyone's saying.
I'm talking about that. I was listening to the politics that the COVID disease is having a break over Christmas, so you can all go wandering around to everyone's houses, and it's not going to affect anybody. But there we go.
We're not getting into COVID. It's about to kick off again over there, and I've had enough. Deal battered by Southampton. Pardo Oaks says Gundogan was not CDM tonight.
He was in the first 70 minutes.
Raz, Sane and Aguero have not been replaced. Well, Sane has got Torres, just doesn't get played at the minute. We need a change. Start at the top. Pepper's lost his sparkle. And the players, I do think there's a little bit of knee-jerking, but it's their opinions.
Can I ask you all a question? Because I've been thinking of this over the course of the show.
1 minute, Mr. Thompson. We've all said Foden was crap tonight.
Yeah, we have.
Go back and watch. We've all said he was crap.
Yeah, he was.
Go on, Kurt. Sorry, mate.
I was just going to say, it's gone now. It'll come back to me in a second. Carry on.
Sorry,
Carry on, man. No worries.
I didn't want people. Sorry, mate. Can't blame Pep for this lot missing chances. Thank you, Jay Fresh. I don't know what Rodri brings to the game.
Agreed.
He brings his short socks, boots, and top. He's a good lad. I'm sure he packs all away himself. No, I was going to ask you all. We've seen that Torres puts the ball in the back of the net with a decent amount of success in terms of conversion rate. In a time that we seem to can't be putting our chances away, why is the guy who seems to be the best at putting the ball in the back of the net not getting his shot?
Well, how many goals has he got in the Premier League?
How many starts has he got in the Premier League? Every time he's started in the Champions League, he bangs them.
Yeah.
If he's not playing, how can he score? Coming on for 20 minutes to the end of the game. Because I personally think that Torres should be starting every week for us. I think he's one of our most informed players at the moment. I just want to know what your guys' thoughts from that were.
We'll go around it, Chris.
Yeah, I'd like to see Torres playing a lot more. I think he's very direct, and as Kurt said, he seems to take his chances. There's something obviously wrong with Gabby because it doesn't look like he's going to be on the end of anything at the minute. And for all his work rate, he needed to bang in a goal or two.
I think the way he's going to be on the end of an exit door.
Maybe, but I do think, and people have got Foden on the light tonight, but he's not playing in his favourite position. He gets moved around that squad.
This internet's freezing.
Here's a question, Mark Armstrong. Could it be no fans are really distorting our performances, both Pep and the players?
We've seen that teams that have had their fans back in have all had positive results apart from Arsenal.
I must admit,
You gotta laugh in life, you know. You gotta laugh in life.
I must admit, watching the reactions of their fan TVs is quite entertaining at the
I've
moment.
got to say, I think that's a very good debate and question. Is it some? Because I know we're going to say, because let's be honest, Liverpool, while no fans are in Anfield, they lost their fear factor completely at Anfield, and teams were going there. Yes, they were still not winning, but they weren't getting pounded, and they were in the games, and they were missing chances. People go to look at United, the worst start ever at Old Trafford in God knows how long. They can't buy a win there at the minute. They've got the best away record going.
That's Ollie said that. He said that they're basically neutral games. So even when you're playing at home, it doesn't feel like a home game because you don't have the fans there. And I wouldn't tend to agree with Ollie on basically anything other than that point, you know. And I completely agree. I just think it's so hard to talk about football when the most important element of football isn't there, which is the fans. So it's hard to get on. I just find it hard to be super critical this season until we have the boys back in there cheering the lads on.
Torres got grief for not playing well last time. Can't have it both ways. Yeah. But got grief when he started in the last Premier League game.
Yeah, you are right. He did get grief, but
I will be honest with you.
I don't think it was warranted.
This year, we do seem very angry as a fan base this year. Maybe not angry, then maybe that's the wrong word.
I think it's because there was no end of the season, mate, so people are still bitter from last season.
You know what I think it is? I think because we're not at the... I can only presume. I think because we're not in the stadiums, we're not watching it, we start watching these lads on the TV, and we've just been a bit more critical than what we normally would be.
It's frustration, isn't it? Because it's not going well. You know, we're all frustrated because they're not playing well. And they're not dominating games as we know we can do. And there's a combination of a few things. And yeah, everyone's frustrated as well because in England everyone's stuck at home, aren't they? And they're not allowed to go out and do things that they want to do. So they're all football. Let's be honest. Football is a release of everyday life, isn't it? You know, it's to get away from all this, the pressures in life, and that's our time out. And you're not allowed to do that. So you have to watch it at home. So it's difficult. It is difficult.
I agree with this because I've said this to Kurt, Alan, me and Andy have said this, and Chris. Do you remember that Liverpool game at Christmas in December a couple of years ago when it was 1 each? And Sané came on and scored the winner. The fans drove that.
Yeah, they did.
Well, electric that night.
I think some players have got off scot-free.
Because they're not getting the grief that they deserve from the fans.
I do think Pep's got off scot-free with some of it. Because I don't think Pep has got away with some of it. And I do think, really, goddamn honestly, I think some players are just needing to realise you're on a freebie at the minute. You've not got 50,000 odd people behind you screaming at you. Whatever, come on, get us over the line. Yeah. And this is where some fans may be being a bit disillusioned with football now and this, that and the other. We'll have to see. We're going to have to see what will happen because things might change if we end up with fans in on Boxing Day. Now, apparently, that's now 50-50. Apparently, that might no longer happen.
I think the most sensible thing would be the spring seems the most likely thing. A few fans in before the end of the season and try and sort out for next season. But I think in regards to the question about frustration, I think the fact that we didn't have a summer, normally every season, if it's a bad season, you have 4 or 5 weeks to get over it. You watch the Euros when it's on, you know, you're out having your summer holidays, you're doing all the things. No one around the world, for the most part, have been doing the things that they would normally do between the season ending and the season beginning. It basically is carried on for all intensive purposes. And I think that's probably added a lot of frustration.
Sorry, let me just bring Chris in. We can do a phone in. Problem is, we're just going to make sure we don't get idiots ringing up. We may Scotty Moll. That is a very good. I have brought Chris in, but he's still. I think he's frozen again. We will have a chat, Scotty Moll, about that because I do like the idea. It's the screening process we've got to go through.
People saying silliness.
Yeah, I might have a chat with the City extra lads and see how they do it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They have a guy at the back.
Yeah, we don't know, do it? We don't.
That's right. Yeah.
And the trouble is, we can't afford someone to come on a phone in and say something that we can't stop. Because then we're like me and Andy. Well,
liable.
Andy is liable for it, and that's the worry of it. When we're not all sat in one place like other people are, and the people behind the scenes. We haven't got that.
Just a question for you.
I will say, Charlie Everett, stay with us in January because we may have an announcement on something about membership come January. That's all I'm going to say. Because Patreon, me.
One question is...
Sorry, mate.
You talked about no fans at City.
Yeah.
At the ground. What would be the reaction at the final whistle tonight at the ETIHAD?
Oh, did have booed it.
It would have been a nil-nil the result.
That's why I did. Because I actually booed in the living room with Dad's.
Yeah.
I booed in the living room.
I can't do it.
I was booing in the living room.
The only time I boo the television is when I'm watching the Champions League, mate.
That's right. I booed the TV and I'm 12,000 miles away and I'm booing the TV.
You know they'll hear you though, mate. You might. No, but a lot of that, not getting the support and not getting the grief from the fans is definitely affecting. You can see every side that got fans in it did a boost to them. You know, you think Fulham would have got that draw held on for Liverpool against that draw. If there was no fans in there, they would have lost that game 2-1.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And Chelsea lost again today, didn't they?
Exactly. Yeah. And what did I guys tell you when we drew to Wolves? I said they're going to take points off a lot of good teams this season.
Yeah, they are.
They're a good side. Struggling, but they are a good side.
Right, guys, I'm going to start winding this in. Chris has had to go because his internet's kaputted completely. But we've done over an hour, and I don't want to keep the lads too long. Listen, it's not what it is. We march on to Southampton. I honestly think, Kurt, will something happen in January to help change all this?
I'd like to think so, but like Alan says, January's hard to do anything. And in the COVID times, if someone's wanting to get rid of a player, they're probably going to want a bit more pennies than they normally want to help them through. So it might be that there's a lot more players available because teams from foreign leagues have to sell their players and ship them off. In the case we might have people available, it might go the other way. I don't know, mate. Couldn't tell you. I'm off with transfers.
Right. Chris, well, we've got you there.
Yes, mate.
Will we do anything?
Go off, mate. I'm really sorry.
No, don't worry, mate. I know. We'll have a look into it in a minute. January, can we do anything to help get some injection into this team?
Mate, I'm not expecting any signings in January. None of us. We can winkle Messi out of Barcelona. I don't think we'll be getting anybody who you would consider a big name. I think it's very hard to get a big player in January. I think the only person I can really think is Zeko who came, but even he at the time he wasn't a huge name at the time.
Sorry, I'm laughing when he said
legend. I love that man.
Balotelli's just signed for an Italian or French.
Serie B team.
Has he?
Yeah.
Who's he gone to?
League 2 side in Italy, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm just one person. Now, I will say live on air, me and Alan have got a charity bet of £50 because Alan Ander has told me from his sources, from all of Heinz and Katie and HP and everyone else that he's had on the table today, that Lionel Messi is a done deal in January. I've said he's talking out like he normally does out of his backside. So I've said £50 charity bet. If Messi signs, I'll tackle for Manchester £50. And if Messi doesn't sign, Alan will tackle for Manchester £50.
So you're going to ask the same question to me now?
Will Messi sign in January? Or is this where you back out the bet?
Yes. He will sign. Yes, he will sign. But
Who told you? Who told you?
I can't tell you.
Let him finish.
Let me finish. Messi will sign, but he won't be starting until next season.
Oh, pre-contract.
Oh, God.
He's got you with a technicality.
Either way, I've got him. Either way, I've got him.
No. Go back and watch what I said. Sign in January.
I did 3 times. I've done 3 times because I watched it with my dad. And as I said to my dad, listen, he'll sign, but he won't be playing until next season. Pre-contract.
That's good. I'm not having that.
I'd love him to sign and start in January. But while Barcelona are still in the Champions League, he won't be playing for City.
No problem, mate. And like I said, keep the faith. Listen, we've just got to... This is part of being a Blue. So we've just got to get on with it. Great crack. Alan, have you had your ear end out again, mate? Patson Daka should be a serious target. Never watched him play, mate. I couldn't tell you. Striker on loan, something will be ideal to the summer.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We do need a striker. Thank you, guys. Great show as always. Miss watch along. Miss last. Don't worry, mate. Is there one on Saturday? Yes, there is. There won't be a reaction though, because I'm going out Saturday evening with the family to look at the Christmas lights. So as soon as the watch along is done on Saturday, I will be shooting. But there will be a Friday night social with all the Southampton build-up in. And I promise you we'll talk about VAR. Promise you it will come out. Pep in the future doesn't give anything for Man City's cards became known all by the Premier League teams. Striker in January is a must. Watchers go out and give South. Exactly. This is what I mean. We could go out and just give Southampton a kicking. Good night, guys. I hope Pep will go. Sorry this year. Oh, I don't care. 50 quid tackle for Manchester. Pay up now, Alan. Messi get Vardy. No. Messi knows PSG will knock out Barca. City could sign Messi. It's possible. I hope not. I really hope not.
I thought even though if we did sign him, he did come, he couldn't play because he's already played in the group stage for him. Or does that get wiped off?
That's not in the rules anymore.
It is after the group stage. When you get into the knockout, you can.
Yeah, I did think it was cleared after the group stage. I wasn't sure. I don't know. I don't. Rules these days make people on top of it.
There is more chance of Alan Payne as well to go to his house in Australia than there was of us buying Messi in January. Thank you. Stay safe, Blues. Where will Messi play? In Alan's back garden, because that's about as close as we get to signing Messi in January. Thank you to Kurt for coming on, buddy.
Thanks, mate.
Big thank you to the Ginger Princess down in the corner.
Yeah, it was sorry, mate. It's been a pretty crappy thing for me tonight, and just matches the old bloody game and our season. It's time now to go and have a large scotch.
A large scotch?
Yeah. He's doing the red nose job.
Oh, he's
just us know him.
Hello. No, I'm here. Sorry.
Oh, he's getting the coat back on.
He's going for a cigarette outside. That's where he's going.
Have a good night.
He's got that coat.
Have a good night. Oh, what?
He's got that bloody coat on. Who wears a coat indoors, you clown?
Good night. Hey, listen, City don't. We always manage to put a smile on your face, don't we, guys? Can't wait to see Messi sign his pre-contract in Jan. Stay safe, everyone. Pep out, Big Sammy.
Yeah. No, Sam's going to Arsenal, mate, according to AFTV.
Cheers.
Right.
Will you stop name dropping every bloody channel? Other channel, eh? Great show, guys. Kurt, you're a legend. Great. Whoa, they're a legend. What am I then?
Bell end.
How come he can wear the Balotelli hat and his stupid coat, but I can't wear my Scouse wig?
Are you really asking that on air?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Oh dear.
Good night, guys. Guys, take care. I will be back on Top Sports Ability.
Nice on there again.
Right, guys, take care. I will be back Friday night with the Friday Night Social. If Alan comes on, we'll sort out his sound. Can't do anything about his face. He'll still always be an ugly sod. But I'm back. Martin, you're just a daughter.
What?
What?
What's that?
What? I haven't got a clue. Right. Thank you to all. I will be back Friday night with Friday Night Social. Andy may be with you tomorrow or Thursday. Look out. Make sure your notifications are on. So as soon as Andy's live, he'll let you know. Might do play ratings tomorrow from his hotel room. You don't know. You never know. But yes, and then Saturday, I'll be back for the watch-along City versus Southampton. I think it's on BT Sport, so there'll be no delay. Like that then. But yeah, it's not the result we wanted. Are we playing crap? Yeah. Are we not getting what we want? No. 2020 all over. I cannot wait for this crap year to end. Just 2020, and when it's so far in the past, it is unreal. Goodbye. Good night. Don't forget, we have got the Christmas social coming up. We will let you know when that is. We'll have some fun.
Can we boo? Can we boo the team off? So I missed that tonight. We don't do that yet. Boo!
I'm going to boo him off. Right, anyway. Take care. Have a great evening. Martin, is it an Amazon? No, it's not an Amazon again, is it?
No. Amazon. Is it? It might be, you know.
I thought it was.
It might be, you know. They got quite a lot of the Christmas fixtures.
After tonight, everyone will give the place 2 out of 10.
That's generous. I think it'll be ones, won't it?
It's on Amazon. Right, so there will be a delay. Guys, I will see you on Friday anyway. Take care. And as always, up the Blues. Keep the faith. Come on, you're a safe fam. You know it's a roller coaster. Take care.
Yeah.